Bam. Shoot. Hey, everybody. What's going on? It is Tuesday, November 29th. And yes, I looked at the calendar because I can never remember what day it is. We are live. We are here. We're talking. We're going to do things. And Jeff is here this week. He's in the middle of a reset. Look, peace. There's Jeff. And yeah, so what the heck's going on, everybody? Oh, I still got a lung thing going on. But I haven't quit smoking because I don't want to. Don't look at me like that, Jeff. Don't judge. Don't judge. Jonah Green, good evening. Look, the chat is quiet tonight a little bit. I don't even know if I should say that, but wow.
Wait for it.
Who's out there? Who's out there? Come on, say hello, people. I need to know who's there. Come on, give me something. Roland Espinosa's fuel prices are dropping. Yes, sir. We will dip right into that here real quick. Give it another minute or two, and we'll dip right into the fuel surcharge. Oh, my gosh. Alan's up in Decatur. Oh, man. Hey, Alan, do me a favor. Holy crap, the messages jump. I got a question for you, Alan. On the load you just did on that heavy coil load, what's your profit on that load? Can you shoot me a message on that or post it here if you're cool with that? I'm just curious. You'll understand a little bit. Let's see who else. Holy crap. Like all of a sudden, man, it just blew up. So I think we got a weird delay in the chat. Paul Phillips, what's going on? Timothy Ransom. Hello. Kevin Hatch, hey all, he says. Andrew Bagwadin. Did I say that right? Bagwandine. Oh, damn it. I screwed it up. My bad. What's up, man? Jason Caps. What's going on? Good God, there's a bunch. Acceleration rules. Hello. That's not a name I'm not familiar with. So good to see you. Glad you're here. Oh, Lord. Officer Hensley. Here we go. That's one of our new people right there. Freeze! Hey, man. Good to see you. I don't know if that's the real Hensley or someone else. You guys, look, I don't know you guys well enough to be able to figure out who's who. Let's see. Bitcoin John, good to see you. Dude, some of these names, it's going to be, oh my gosh. Mike Hawk smells like leather. I'm just saying, Mike Hawk smells like leather. Okay? Just, yeah, that's how we're going with that. I don't mind. Whatever. Paul Phillips at the Iowa 80. Alan Becker is coming back to Ocala tonight. Hey, I might, if you're going to be there a couple days, I may come poke you or something. Mm-hmm. My name is Larry June. Hey, good to meet you, Larry June. Is that real? I don't know. Am I missing something? Cool. Wimpy McPoatman with a million excuses. Dude, I actually like that name right there. Oh, Lord. Shut down St. Paul all day empty. That sucks. Oh, my God. Whew. Backroads Trucking. Paul. Good to see you.
Alan's
2 toes down, Officer Hensley. Yes.
He wants to know what your question was.
Oh, what was your profit on that heavy coil load, if you know? There was actually a discussion today about, was it today or yesterday, about a heavy load, and don't pull heavy loads because it costs you too much money. And I'm going to say something that may be controversial. Bullshit. Okay, I'm over it. Sorry. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Am I going to yell at for that one? Maybe.
Probably. If he goes, I just don't want to do it. I'll do it later. I like it. It's fun.
Right. That's cool. Right. Let's see. What do we got going on here? James Hensley Police Department. What is going on with the police department and the Hensley stuff? I missed something somewhere. That's cool. My wife gave me permission to watch YouTube tonight. Craig Hudson, what's going on? Shorts, what it is. Hamburger helper guy. Heavy loads are nice in the snow. Yeah, like, right? Seriously, like, no joke. Nick Earl, how you doing? So, yeah. Oh, stop it. No drama. No drama here, y'all. No drama. I don't want to hear it. Look, someone said, mistyped something earlier in our private group that some of you guys might not be aware of. Anyhow, and it was funny because they typed trauma and they meant drama, and it was just funny to us because it was like, no, actually, trauma might have been appropriate there, but whatever. You guys love drama, not me. Ken Kelly, what's going on? Good to see you. I don't dig drama, man. It's tough. You know what I mean? Oh my God. So hey, you know what? Let's do this fuel surcharge thing real quick, and then we'll dip into some stuff that we wanted to talk about, and then we'll turn it over to you. Oh, you know what? So you guys may not enjoy this, but I for the guys that are on the ES Advantage card and using in our Contractor Swift, we wanted to run a quick video that we've run before, but we had a lot of new people sign on to the ES Advantage card, and they were asking, you know, how do I do the reports and all that? And look, for whatever reason, people aren't going to the YouTube video. So I'm going to actually play 8 minutes of a video today. So I apologize ahead of time for those of you who have seen it and don't want to watch it. Bear with us. It's only 8 minutes. And then after that, we'll get back to normal stuff. But I want to do this fuel surcharge thing real fast. How's that? Pow. All right. The national fuel cost went down 0.092. Kind of made me sad. Went down to 5.141. The West Coast Pad 5 also dropped, not quite as much, 0.078 to 5.666. And that's going to bring our fuel surcharge down to 0.657, which is a drop of 0.016 cents on loaded dispatch miles this week. The West Coast fuel surcharges stayed the same as last week at 8 cents because that differential between the West Coast Pad 5 and national was only 0.525 cents. So there you go. Got that knocked out of the way. You know what? I did not put it on the ticker. Jeff, you're going to have to fill time for a second when I go back and put that on the ticker. So okay, whatever. People just dead air.
Because
It's
time to go through the comments and all that.
Oh, that, you know what? Good call. Let's get the hell out of here. Hope you guys got that. We'll come back to it maybe later if you really didn't catch it and I don't even know what to say. There you go. Oh, I missed the button. It was late. Dang it. I tried to click buttons in the right time. Oh, so that 6 copper coils from El Paso to Decatur weighed 44,100 miles loaded. Took 10 all the way to 85 Decatur, profited 1,700 after surcharge. So someone tell me how that's a loss. Because I saw a comment that said, heavy loads cost you money. And in a market like we're in now, where loads are scarce in some markets, a load is better than not having a load. Right. A load is better than deadheading yourself 600 miles to a market just to get a light load. And profiting, $1,700 on that load after everything was said and done. I don't understand how someone could say that is costing you. I'm just saying. It's one of those markets, and I think that people need to
and I had to
deal with that.
So my week is kind of shot. I only did what was it? I actually have it here. I only did 800 loaded miles this week. 830 loaded miles, 286 empty. I mean, I discount the 99 miles of that because that's weird. But the load I did was 830 miles and 186 miles empty. And it was 44,800 pounds of stuff. And that was going from Edwardsville to North Carolina. So that was going up over those mountains that were being talked about today.
Right.
And I profited $1,481.98 on that.
And you know what I hear? The word profit.
Right. Now, would I have rather have taken a 10,000-pound FedEx load? Absolutely.
Hell yes.
But those weren't available in Edwardsville 2 days ago. So
right.
I took what I could get.
Oh, Timothy Ransom. He's talking about his DPF cleaning today. So he went up there. He's at the spot you were at, right? In Macon? I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
At Macon, yeah.
Yeah, and he's getting his DPF filter done there at DPF Alternatives at that guy's shop. And it's pretty cool. If you guys haven't seen it, he's actually got a short video on the closed group on Facebook where he's actually showing them cleaning out part of the DPF in their stuff. It's pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Trucker
this is
Joe got a
not
penny raise today. Sorry.
we've talked about it before, but it bears repeating. This isn't the bake and shake that they used to do, which most people aren't willing to do anymore because it kind of ruins the DPFs
Right.
more often than it helps. This is an actual chemical and sonic clean that they do, and it brings it back to factory original specs,
In fact,
at
typically
least.
better than factory specs, their tolerances as they call it. Dude,
Mhm.
Paul Phillips right there. That's actually funny. Got a 44,000 pound load that turned out to be 4,200 pounds. See, you turn that stuff
Yep.
down and you just never know.
Yeah. Being in my neck of the woods, Charlie, we do a lot of that Kimberly Clark.
Right.
So the main Kimberly Clark in Ogden, what they make is diapers, basically.
Right.
Diapers and feminine hygiene products is what they make there.
Hey now.
And because of the contract that Swift has with them, every load out of there says 44,000 pounds in the pre-plan. And I have never seen one out of there over about 28,000 pounds ever.
Right.
So you just, sometimes it feels like they just kind of pull a number out of the air and say, yeah,
Right.
we'll just say it's heavy. And then, if they want it, they could take it. If not, we'll find somebody else.
Right.
Type of thing.
Yeah. This week, I actually had a decent week, a busier week than I typically want to have, honestly.
Where did
But,
you go again, Charlie? Where did you end up again this week?
Oh man, again. Dude, so Jacksonville to Phoenix and then Phoenix back to Maryland again. They did it to me again. And wait. There's more,
Did
as
they?
they say.
They made you do that. They brought out the
Well,
handcuffs and
they
changing of the
enticed me. They
wheel.
said they're like, "Dude, do you want this load?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Because the market is what it is, and I need to get back this week. I have a doctor's appointment at the VA tomorrow, and I had forgotten about it before I left home, so I really should not have been running out to the west side of the country, honestly. But I'm old. Have I mentioned that I hit my head before and I'm a little forgetful sometimes? Anyhow, yeah, but I ended up, wait. So then I go to Maryland and they're like, hey, how about you do a load from Pennsylvania down to North Carolina? I'm like, sure, why not? At least I'm not deadheading home from Maryland again all the way down to the middle of Florida. And then I got there and delivered that super early Monday morning. And they're like, hey, we got a T-call load at Greer going down to Florida. I'm like, tell you what, if you get that set up as a T-call in Ocala, I'll take it. Lo and behold, they're like, okay, set up for T-call. Accepted it. And I ended up doing 5,217 miles loaded this week, 224 empty. So not too bad. And definitely that percentage is definitely amazing, but there's a thing there, the TTD thing. That's
I don't know
our new
what
people,
it is.
and I don't know what that means. When do you guys fill me in? Come on, what the hell? What is it? What is it? Yeah, look, we're newbies to some of your elite speaking selves. Oh, crusty lungs. That's great. Excuse me. Leatherface. What'd that say? Don't mind 43,000, 44,000. Hate when they try to load 45.5. Right? Look, so in my old Freightliner in Chewy, I could legally get away with about 47,000 pounds in a dry van. Of course, I never told anyone at Swift that, because why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? So, 10 toes down. Gotcha. Look, see? Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm not a smart man. Sometimes I know.
But he is a good driver.
Sometimes can't read a clock because look, I don't know if y'all noticed, and nobody busted me out for it today, but I was 2 minutes late launching the show because I was busy running my mouth with Jeff telling a story that was a dumb story that I shouldn't even.
Which you're going to tell again later in the show.
Dude, I don't want to. Okay, I will. But yeah. So Okay, you guys that are not contracted Swift, bear with us for a moment. Well, for 8 moments, I'm going to say. There is a video that I want to play for some of our newer guys that are on the ES Advantage card, and they have to make these monthly reports to Swift on fuel purchases that are done outside so they can get their IFTA tracked properly. So bear with me if you can. 10 toes down. Explain 10 toes down. Hey, if you guys could do that in the chat, that'd be awesome and help brother out. Roland, good to see you, buddy. I seen you've been running the hell out of some load board freight. Good on you. Paul Phillips, I saw that you went on late. Whatever, man. Whatever. I called myself out first for once. Anyhow, I'm going to run this video. We won't be able to talk. You guys won't be able to hear us. You'll just be able to hear this video. So I apologize for that. But I want to make this is important to us. We've had a lot of new guys sign up for that fuel card and aren't sure how to do this report. So bear with us 8 minutes and it should be done. All right. Yeah, here we go. We'll be in the chat. We could type. Hey guys, Charlie from Contractors Corner. So we needed to do a video about filing or submitting our new monthly reports in the Excel format. Some changes that need to be made to that when you send it in. So what I'm going to do is go over that now. I'm going to log into the transaction report and all that good stuff. I'm assuming you know how to log into your EFS site. So let's just start with that assumption. So we're going to go into transaction report, and I should probably click on the right screen here, transaction report. And it's never super fast. So what we want to do is we want to pull up a report. We're going to start it since it's our monthly report, we want it to start on the 1st of the month. I'm recording this on the 28th, but I won't be using any ESA transactions before the end of the month, so I'm just setting it for the 28th. You'll want to set it for the full month so you get the proper report. And yeah, so set the date there. None of this stuff is going to matter in this report, so just leave it what it is for right now. Honestly, just don't even sweat it. Don't make things more complicated or anything like that. Nobody cares. If it shows a discount, they don't care what that discount is. It doesn't matter on this report. What does matter is that you go down here to where it says format type, view format type, right here. I want you to be real clear on that. View format type. Instead of saying PDF where it defaults, go down to Excel, click there. One thing that I do is, if some of you guys are buying DEF on it, whatever, it's not really a thing. But honestly, I just click on item. I select fuel products, all fuel products, and simply submit the report from there. Sometimes it takes a little while to load. Just be patient, hang out, and relax and wait for it to happen. It just needs to do its thing. Click here to view document. It's going to download. It's going to pop up at the bottom of your browser. I like to click on show in folder. I have this thing about renaming things. I'm going to call this my driver code, my truck number. I'm going to type in June fuel purchases. I think that's how I've been naming these files. Hit enter. I'm going to cut it out of here and put it in a place that I like to save stuff. So I'm going to hit cut. I'm going to put it in my little magic file over here. And here I have it. So once I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and open this file. Like I said, it's an Excel file. So I'm going to open that up. First thing I'm going to do is go up here to the top, and whatever program you use to open Excel files, some things may be different as far as how they work. You'll have to work that out. If not, reach out on the group and we'll see what we can do. So I'm going to enable editing. And like you see here under driver name, it shows Dirt Dog Express Transportation mostly. It's showing my truck number. It's showing when the transaction took place. It's referencing an invoice number, my truck number, my name. This is one of the fields we're actually going to change. If you don't have a unit number in here already, we're going to walk you through getting that as well. Anyhow, we need the truck number and your driver code. So I'm going to change this to my driver code. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to copy that. Use Control-C to copy. I'm going to scroll down to these transactions. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to paste it in there for me. So now that I've done that, I've got my driver code. I've got my truck number. Like I said, transaction invoice numbers are there. The date it happened. It's showing the location as far as the location name, meaning the truck stop I used, the city that I used, the state in which or the city that it was purchased in, the state it was purchased in. It's showing how much I paid per unit, meaning per gallon, how much I purchased, how many gallons total, what the total amount was. This is what is needed in the report. Total gallons, purchase price, the amount, city, state, driver code, truck number, date. That's what they need. So now we've modified that, and we can actually save this file now. Hopefully my stuff, oh, I hit the wrong button. Hopefully I can make this work. Let's save that. And now I can send that report off to the IFTA department. And I'm actually going to go through doing that as well right here. I got a weird thing about cleaning up fields, so I don't know. I can't help it. It's the crazy man in my head. So yeah, I mean, if you have these extra fields, great. Don't worry about them. If you don't, again, don't worry about them. They're not important. The important fields, like I said, are transaction date, unit number, invoice, driver code, the city in which it was purchased in, the state it was purchased in, what the unit price is, how much you bought, and then it shows the total. That's the information they need. That's the information they're going to take to put in your report. And now I'm going to go send that report. So here we are. I use Gmail. So here I am. I'm going to type in who I'm sending it to, which is fueltax@swifttrans.com. My subject line should be outside. Well, I can't even type. Outside fuel purchases. MAHCH 1 501153. Oh, and I am going to add the word June in there so they know what it is. And I'm going to type some sort of clever message like, so please see attached Excel file containing my June outside fuel report or fuel purchases for truck 501153, driver code MAHCH1. Please confirm receipt. And I'm simply going to attach the file. June fuel purchases. It's got it ready. It's good to go. Some folks have been, some places don't allow these, all this extra stuff that I have on my signature. So I'm just going to delete that real quick. And this is ready to go. I can put a little space. Anyhow, so there you go. Going to go ahead and hit send. And we're back. Right?
Yay.
So check it out. The newer folks that have just started using the Advantage card. Sorry for the quality of that video, but the information that we need to get out was there. But anyhow, if you newer guys that haven't run these reports yet, God, I can't even. It's like every week I can't talk, and I swear it's getting worse and worse. Maybe I need to hit my head again. Think that'll make it better, Jeff? Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe sometimes it works.
Look, this is just waking up and it's dark out. Winter sucks. I agree.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know what really sucks though is the days are so short now. If you're running night shift, you get up and it's dark, and you go to bed and it's dark, and you never see the sunshine.
Right? Vampires. Oh Lord.
So just to reiterate one thing though, Charlie.
Yeah.
You do not have to do this report.
Right.
Charlie and I and some others, we like doing just one and done. We run the report at the end of the month. We send it to Swift. Bam. They record our after taxes that we paid at the pump. Right. They do the calculations and boom, done. The other method though is to send them the receipts every time you fuel up.
Yeah, just scan it with your trip.
And you scan it with your trip. And you just make sure that on those, like when we thought that we weren't going to be able to run reports, remember that fiasco, Charlie?
Yeah.
I actually printed out labels that said,
I bought a stamp.
Charlie bought a stamp. And on it has those magic words: cash, fuel,
I can get it.
Truck number, driver code, right? Is that what's on there?
Cash, fuel, truck number, driver code. Sorry, focus issues.
That's got to be on every single receipt that you send them if you're going to use that method.
That is what they asked us to include on every receipt. Now, I know some people are doing it different and they're not doing it and whatever. And yeah, you look, that's what they asked us when we talked to the fuel tax guy for night. I mean, that's what they wanted. Okay, yep. That's funny. Look,
guy.
Did you buy a Zippo? No.
That fuel tax guy though, by the way,
right?
He makes us feel dumb when he talks.
Right.
He's one of those math nerds. I mean, he's a
math nerds.
He has a degree, a master's degree in taxes. That's what his master's degree is in.
It's crazy.
I don't even. He's
dedicated.
He's got to be fun at parties, though, right?
Could be. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
There was something else we were going to dip into. What were we going to dip into? It was
legal.
Huh?
Wasn't someone going to call us on the phone about that legal thing?
Yeah, I should see if he called. My bad. Oh, you know what? Hey, you new guys. I'm afraid to do this. But I'm going to do it anyhow. It'll be fun. Don't kill me here. All right, guys. Don't kill me here. Where'd it go? Where's my magic little buttons? I lost my buttons, Jeff. I can't find them. Here we go. This could be interesting. Anyhow, any of you guys want to call in? I was actually waiting on Bitcoin John to call in. He wanted to talk about something that he saw on Asian Mai's channel. Anyhow, he was talking. Yeah, Mother Trucker. That's Asian Mai. He put a video out, I guess today or yesterday or something like that, and a dude was talking about he was coming into one of those construction zones with the automated flaggers. They got the lights and the drop arms and stuff like that. And apparently the guy, got up to the drop arm on the green light. It turned yellow. He kept going. The drop arm dropped, hit his trailer. He busted the machine with his trailer and got a $750 ticket for the thing. So he paid the ticket, didn't fight it, just like, oh, yeah, my bad, paid it, sent it in, and then got notified his license was suspended for a year. And that kind of brings the thing up, I mean, do you fight these tickets? I'm typically, look, honest to God, I'm a weird guy that typically I won't fight tickets because especially if I know that I screwed up and I'm just like, whatever. And I don't get tickets. I just don't. I did get one in California a few years back. And that's actually what Jeff and I were talking about when I forgot to hit start and go on the show. Anyhow, am I frozen, Jeff?
No.
I think you're frozen, man. You're frozen, truckers chump. Sorry, that was fun. I'm sorry. Anyhow, but yeah, so I got a speeding ticket that I felt was not right. There was no radar proof. It was, a guy's
Mark
claim.
one eyeball.
Yeah, Mark one eyeball. And so I tried to fight it. And I did not hire a lawyer to do it because I didn't think I needed one this time. So I tried to fight it. And every time I took time out of my schedule, I was driving down from the northwest corner of Oregon down into Northern California to go fight this ticket show for court so I could get a jury trial and fight it out. They freaking delayed the court date. They extended it another month. So I came back the next month and they bastards did it to me again. So then I just gave up and paid the $400 damn fine. It was stupid, whatever. But you know what? There is something to that, when these DOT guys write you, do an inspection and then give you a warning on an inspection, that's probably worse than actually getting a citation because you can't argue it. And your driving record reflects that warning. It might as well be a conviction because you can't fight it because it's only a warning. And trying to get that kind of thing corrected on your record, good luck, man. I don't know anybody that's been able to do it. I don't know. I got a good signal. I don't know. Yeah. Anyhow, but yeah. So I mean, if you are cited for something, I think even if you you guys are freaking me out, man. Maybe it's a delay on the YouTube side. It could be on the YouTube side. I don't know. I'm seeing the broadcast going out, right? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Anyhow, if you do get cited for something, it's probably worth it to fight it, because it does affect your ability to make money and support your family and all those sort of things. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So, and especially if you're a contractor or, a sole prop type thing and you guys are running your own authority, I mean, that's probably even bigger to you. It would absolutely be in your best interest to fight every single citation, whether you know you're wrong or not, because, you can get some of that stuff down and it's all good. And you can get some of that stuff pleaded down pretty easy in a lot of cases. Northern California is not the great place to fight because, yeah, jury trial, y'all, is what I'm saying. Get a jury because that's your only hope, is what I'm going to say. But I don't see Bitcoin John, so hopefully he catches the replay on this, and hopefully I answered the question that he wanted to talk about. He wanted our opinion on. I don't know. You got a differing opinion, Jeff?
I do not.
So yeah, I think if you guys got any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear it. I mean, if you have a differing opinion and think, oh, just to hell with it, pay it, which is honestly what I've done my career.
I'm seeing this as an opportunity for me to act like I'm special for a second.
Do it.
So I saw your comment there, Anthony, and I brought up the load board. And I used Lathrop, California, 100-mile radius as my search criteria since you said you were in Central. And I got to tell you, there's not a whole lot up there. So I don't know what to tell you. Again, with the verbal agreements that we've made with Swift about being in the test group, I can't share my screen here or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, there's like 3 loads tomorrow. That's it. Out of that area.
And the loads he's looking at are the 005 solo OTR freight.
OTR freight, right. I mean, Friday there's 1.
Your audio is doing something weird, but it's still good. It's just weird choppy. Go ahead, sorry.
So is yours. So I don't want to hear it.
Ooh, interesting.
Hey, don't make me angry. You don't like me when I'm angry. I mean, the most loads in a day I'm seeing is for Thursday. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loads. And again, this is a 100-mile radius around Lathrop, California. So, guys, we've been saying this for a long time, and Charley can touch because he's been following it a little more than me. He's actually been watching this crazy DAT report thing every week. Freight volumes are way down everywhere, but especially that West Coast market, guys. If you're going to go in there, do everything you can when you're talking to these planners. Like, I'm willing to go to Lathrop, but you got to get me out, right? Try that tack for a while, because if they got freight, they need to move out of like Salt Lake City going to Lathrop.
Hang tight, John.
They might be willing to wheel and deal, and they might not. But I do think that it's worth having that conversation. It's like, look, man, you're sending me to a place that I know there's very little freight. How am I getting out of there? 800 miles sounds pretty good. 800 miles in 48 hours sounds pretty good right now. But what if you sit there for 3 days because there's nothing on the other end? That's the mindset I think we need to be focusing on right now. Is yes, we need to do things that we would normally do, like my going to Oregon all of a sudden when I swore I'd never go back. But make sure that you're not. Look at that average for the week.
Right.
That 780 miles from West Valley City up to Seattle looks okay for now, but there's nothing there. You sit there for 3 days. So that's your week, 750 miles.
Right. So, so here's the notes on DAT's video today that they put out there. They do this weekly report on their YouTube thing, DAT IQ, something, I can't remember the name of it. Sorry. But they said the ban load. So it is the second lowest dry van load posts in 6 years this week. The second lowest in 6 years for dry van load posts. While carrier equipment posts are 24% higher. So there is crazy amounts of capacity out there, but the amount of loads to trucks is dropping in the wrong direction.
That's one of the things that's weird, Charlie, because you and I have been talking about this for a couple of weeks now.
Right.
The expected drop in capacity is not happening like it did in 2008. In 2008, people just, here's my keys. I'm done.
Right. I don't know how people are keeping their trucks when they bought these $280,000 trucks that are really only $180,000 trucks. I don't know how they're meeting those numbers.
The only thing I could think of is it was insanely great there for about 2 years before COVID. And even into the first half of the year of 2020 was really good. Maybe people just were able to save enough money to weather this storm. I don't know.
Yeah. Look, let's hope so, because the market was insanely high. Insanely high, right? And you and I were even saying that, to people that were going out on their own, that if you're going to go out on your own and you're doing it in this crazy high market, man, you better put stuff away because it's going to fall out. And so by all means, hold on to what you got, and so you can weather that next storm. And hopefully, maybe that's what's going on, because the purge that's, was expected to happen is not happening yet. Hey, Ken said, you have to pay attention to how a ticket is written. If it's a traffic crime is checked on your ticket, then you damn well better fight it, or you could lose your license upon conviction, because just paying it is a conviction. That is an admission of guilt. You are absolutely right. And I got John on the phone, I think. Hold on. Let's see. This will be fun. Bitcoin John.
Yeah, I'm here. The person that
hey,
just commented said what I wanted to say is paying your ticket's an admission of guilt, and I didn't want somebody to make that mistake. That guy got penalized by a year being shut down. He was suspended for a year because he paid that ticket.
Yeah, no, and that's legit.
He might have had different results.
Yeah, he could have negotiated it down to something silly, you know what I mean, where there was no threat of losing your license for a year. It sucks. Holy hell, that I can't even imagine just losing my license. Finding out tomorrow my license is no good for the next year. I holy Jesus.
I just wanted to share that with people, because I'm sure once in a while somebody's going to get a ticket. If they just willy-nilly pay it, they're like the person said, they're admitting guilt, and I don't want to see somebody go down that road.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's good looking out. And no, I appreciate you sending me that earlier, man. And I had to go back and watch it again with Jeff, and Jeff and I were watching it just for the show, and I wanted to make sure that we had some thoughts on it, man, so that we could actually, speak with some sort of opinion. I don't know. Did that
If
sound weird?
anybody wants to watch the video, it's that guy that has the My Trucker hat.
Mother
the
Trucker
hat.
Asian My, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you guys get back to your show.
Hey, good to hear you, John.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Bye-bye.
So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Call. Oh, I had some weird window pop up on the call. That was funny. Anyhow, 2,500 miles a week average all year, 80,000 company guy. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You won't get me to argue with that.
Well, one of the things that we tell people that convinces them not to do what we do,
right,
is that there's a learning curve, guys. Don't, our experience, I don't know about Charlie, we haven't really talked about how well you did when you first started out, but I always tell people my first year, I would have made more as a company driver, hands down, because that learning curve, learning how to buy fuel, learning, not taking the bait of, oh yeah, it's a load, so I'll go that 500 empty miles for a 500 loaded, because that company mentality was still there for a little while. We don't get paid as much on empty as we do loaded. You got to factor that in, and there's a learning curve there. Once you get into the business and you learn how to run your truck, you'll absolutely make more. I would say you should be making about a third more than a company driver, even with a payment. But yeah, that's one of those things that I say that people are like, well, screw that then. I mean, really, you're making $85,000 a year. Why would you take 75 for that first year of learning? Unless you had that long-term outlook of making 6 figures, right?
Right, no doubt.
Charlie's busy.
Sorry, I was commenting in chat. I apologize. I was typing. I was listening, man. I wanted to catch up on some of the chat stuff. Eyebrow boy, so a lot of you guys. So we have a lot of people here who aren't contracted to Swift and things like that. And so newer viewers to our channel and things like that. And look, I want you guys to actually understand that I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to reach out to some of you guys that are out there on your own authority and running, these spot markets or, smaller contract freight lanes and stuff like it. Because look, you guys can help me expand our knowledge and what we can help pass on to other people. Because, part of what Jeff and I do is we're here to help guys. Our main focus is helping people that are contracted to Swift, right? But through the relationships we've built with other people that have gone on to get their own authority and things of that nature, we've actually been able to help some people move from being a company driver into a contract driver at Swift, into getting their own authority and getting into 10 or 15 trucks. Mm-hmm. So the more information we can get from folks like you who aren't actually contracted to Swift, whether you like Swift or not, look, I'm not going to fight with you over that. That's for sure. I mean, that's silly. I mean, everybody has their opinion, and by all means, have yours. The only thing that we will ever ask is that people try and be respectful to each other. And sometimes words get heated. Whatever. We're all grown ass adults. Whatever. We all got to put our big boy pants on, and we're not always going to agree. However, with all that said, I'm actually going to start, you guys see that we're engaging you, and I want to know, I mean, how are you guys that are out there running the spot market? How are you guys doing right now? And how are you doing it? Like, seriously, because, some of these numbers we're seeing, like through that, through that IQ report and that sort of thing. I mean, if I understand, everybody's like, oh, I don't pull nothing for less than $3 a mile. Well, cool. I am curious to see how that's going to play out over the next couple of months, because even they're saying, they had a guy on from Bloomberg today who's a big analyst from Bloomberg. And he was saying that, we're not going to bottom out and turn up until middle of second quarter, possibly start of third.
And that's and we were talking about this earlier too, Charlie. By the time they start trying to predict third quarter of next year, that's throwing darts at a freaking graph blindfolded.
Right.
It's really tough to predict that far out in business. So, and they say that when they say it, that it's really tough.
Hey, what? I like this question. What is appealing to lease purchase program with Swift? What are the ups and downs? Look, so I will tell you, Jeff will tell you that leasing a truck from a giant corporation is not the best avenue. We tell
Nope.
people all the time, save your money. If you can scrounge money, save it, do everything you can while you're a company driver somewhere or something like that. By all means, buy you a used truck, an old truck that will get by. You know, if you can get that truck to run you a year that you picked up for 30 grand, do an in-frame on like, an 03 Freightliner or something like that, without the EGR and all the crap, man, do that. Then you go spend, you could spend fat money, 35 grand up at Pittsburgh Power to get that super duper, in-frame, out of frame done, right? And, another 10 grand to replace a tranny, another 6 to 8 grand, on the old, rebuilt rear ends. You got a brand new 1,000,000-mile truck from that point on, right? However, not everybody can do that. So it is an entry point for some folks who just simply don't have the capital to do it. There's an argument that states, well, if you don't have the capital to do it, you shouldn't do it. Well, okay, I won't argue that, but hell, I leased my first truck, and last week I talked about it that, I leased my first truck with the intention of getting out of that lease in 12 months and saving up money so I could buy a truck on the outside, which is what I did. It took 13, but whatever. So the ups and the downs to leasing, doing through like a lease purchase, of course, is the cost of entry. It's non-existent, right? There, I mean, honest to God, they give you a freaking truck for no money down at this point.
Right. Even the 22, was it up to now $2,000 performance escrow?
Right. Yeah. I think it's 2,500.
2,500. You don't even have to come up with that at Swift. They take that out like $100 a week until that escrow account is filled up with what they say it should be.
Right.
So, the barrier to entry is not as high, but you're going to pay for it over time. One of the things that I talk to people about a lot is how old my truck is getting. I'm at 850,000 miles on my truck. I was actually kind of excited the other day. I would have brought it up last week if I was on the show. Bruce Mallison, the man himself, called me about my oil analysis this time around to discuss it. And we were talking about the health of my engine at 850,000 miles. And Bruce believes that I should get to about 1.4 million miles before I need him to work on it. 1.4 million miles. So yeah, the truck's getting older, but why would I spend another $200,000 on a new truck at this point when the one one I don't owe any money on, it's expected to last another 2, 3, maybe 4 years before I need major work done to it. Now that major work costs more on my truck than say a 2003.
Right.
Because I've got all the emissions. My transmission costs more than the engine on Charley.
Yeah, it's funny.
On Chewy, right?
Yeah, so, my old truck.
So, it's just from a business perspective, absolutely. If you don't have the money, go buy a truck. Should you be in business? The Harvard Business School people will tell you, absolutely not. Are you nuts? Right. But where would Charley and I be if we didn't take the risk on that opportunity?
Right. I mean, it's not for everybody. Don't get us wrong. We will absolutely try and talk you out of making this leap. We look, there's some people in this chat who I can assure you, we have had some come to Jesus talks about finances. And I mean, personal finance. We will dip in. I mean, if you're willing to talk, we will, and you're having trouble, the only way we can fix you and help you get spun around is to have those real hard talks. Right. And it's uncomfortable for some people. However, some of the upside to leasing, like to a major carrier like Swift or any of the, I can't speak to any of those. I've only ever been contracted Swift. So, but our insurance cost, our insurance cost is super low compared to a lot of people that, that just can't get that kind of coverage. We don't have to carry the freight side of it, simple little things like tolls, they cover the tolls, man. That is thousands of dollars for some folks, depending on where you're running. The guys that are running the Northeast, man, running back back and forth across the GW every other. Can you imagine having to pay that every other day? Holy hell, that would piss me off. And I don't think with the rates dropping that it would support that in the near future.
So another thing about leasing a truck from and to a mega carrier, because that's what we're talking about here. So when I first started leasing trucks, I had 3 kids. Over the next couple of years, I had 3 more. So I had 6 children at home.
Right.
I'm back down to 3. Soon it'll be 2 and then 1. And yeah, we're almost empty nesters in about another 10 years. So with that dynamic, having a family to feed, if something happened, and this did happen with my 2012 truck, which is just awful. Yeah, I leased that from IEL, leased it back to Swift, mega carrier. There's a little bit of a safety net when you are in bed with these bigger companies. I did not lose my business when I spent 10 days trying to get my truck fixed.
Right.
A bank would have called my note if I owed money to a bank, but IEL said, okay, well, let's work with this. Let's see, what we can do to keep you in business. That is worth, to me, Mr. Swift comments aside, or whatever you guys want to call it, Charlie and I, that is one of the reasons why I've stayed with Swift, is that when you get to the individual level, like you're talking to Becky in Rapid Response or Juice about issues with your truck, they do take a personal interest and they will help you out. So it's kind of a weird thing, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah. Oh,
as owner operators, we kind of have the best of 2 worlds. We're leasing this mega carrier, but the owner operator community is small enough to where you can call an individual at the division and get help, just like if you're at a mom and pop.
Right.
Now,
it really is. It's amazing the support that we do get. You'll hear people say, "Oh, screw Swift because they're screwing me over," and you hear that. And mine and Jeff's experience with that when we reach out to those people is, well, who did you call? Who did you talk to? Nobody. They just screwed me over. Well, but who did you talk to about the problem?
Right.
Crickets. That's all you hear. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of a hard deal. Hey,
well,
so
and then if there's been a couple of these just in the last year or two, Charlie, where if we can get them to calm down a little bit, right, and we get on the phone with these people at Rapid Response and say, okay, here's our guy, he's got this issue. You 2 talk. What happens? If we could just get you guys to talk to these people.
Right. And that's what we're trying to do, is tell you exactly who you need to talk to.
Right.
All you got to do is ask, hey, I've got this problem. Who do I talk to? And we can help get you pointed in the right direction. I mean, Jeff and I go into these conversations with the VP. I cannot remember this guy's name right now, but the VP for the shops, and we have had many conversations with these guys, and we're like, hey, this contractor got screwed basically on this bill and this problem. And he's like, oh, I've heard about it. Nobody's reached out. And it fixed like that. Done. Cancel coach, 115,000 miles this year, 9,000 deadhead, 9%, not bad. That's legit right there. So you guys know that well, some of you know, a lot of our regular people know that I run a team with my wife. We don't run hard team freight typically. And I'm going to share something here just because, and then you can laugh at me, whatever, for the miles when you see the number, which is fine. But this is year to date this year. I'm going to make this a little bigger. I got to get rid of that damn graphic. Hold on. Sorry. Give me a second.
Yes,
professional. Right? So loaded miles, 100,229. Empty miles, 1,995. And that's because of that target account I've been on. Most of those empty miles have been in the last couple months, honestly. Well, actually, and I deadheaded back and forth from Phoenix once or twice, something like that. Anyhow. No, that wasn't even empty miles. Never mind. So that didn't even count. But anyhow, so yeah, I mean, not putting it up there to say good things or bad things. Dude, 9%, keep doing what you're doing. I think that's a good number personally. I definitely want to stay below 10%. I want to stay at 0 personally, but hell, What are you doing, Jeff? That was kind of sexy looking right there. Good thing people couldn't see that. I should have
I
threw that
waited.
up real quick. Oh man, that would have been great. Yeah, he like totally adjusted himself, slid back on his
I
seat,
did
and
not.
he had knees up in the air. You guys, oh my man, I wish I could have put that up real quick. I'm a terrible person. Anyhow, but yeah, I mean, the going back to the where to go, the highlights and the good and bad of leasing to someone like a Swift, and the contract freight, I mean, granted, our rates aren't as high as some places are. We understand that. We're not saying it's the best paying job you'll get. It's not the best paying contract you can get. But for, certain people in certain ways, it's a great entry point. We're not saying, be Jeff and I and, be here for 20 years or 30 years or whatever. If you can do it, great. Jeff and I have. We can tell you that it's possible. I mean, he's bought a house, raised 6 damn kids. Holy crap, 6 kids. He's a breeder.
And not gotten divorced over it.
Right? And trucked full time and the whole 9 yards. So I mean, that says something. And look, I don't know that I'm sharing anything here, but Jeff's wife doesn't work. She took care of 6 kids. So, Jeff was able to raise and put kids in college and things like that, doing what we're doing here at Swift. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, because of my family dynamic is the main thing.
Right.
I'm not risk averse per se, but the stability of being a contractor at Swift. I've looked at getting my own authority and playing that game. I've looked at Landstar. I've looked at JB Hunt 360, all this other stuff.
Right.
And, it's a tough sell for someone like me that needs the stability.
Right.
I could potentially make more money elsewhere. I know that. But I like to be able to tell my wife, you're going to get $75,000 out of the business this year, and then we're going to see what to do with the rest of the money when tax time comes.
Right. But we keep fairly steady income year after year, week after week, for the most part. When you look at your month numbers, your quarter numbers, your yearly numbers, we are very consistent. We're not subject to those rises and falls in the spot market. Like some of you guys that are watching right now, I'm sure can attest to that. Those peaks and those valleys, you really got to budget a lot more for those valleys when you have those peaks to keep yourself in that steady pace. You know what I mean? And to keep that average up where you want it to be. So, I mean, we're not trying to sell Swift.
And that's the thing too, Charlie. These guys that do run their own authority and have contracts, or they run the boards, or whatever it is they do.
Right.
They will tell you, I'm fairly certain, I've talked to a few myself and they've told me this, what their goal is to have an average income long term.
Right.
They have their bad weeks like everybody else. They'll have a week, maybe 2, where they don't make any money at all because there's just no work, right? But they look at that year, and as long as that year is where they want it, that's success.
Right.
They tend to, correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, you've talked to these guys too. They tend to not sweat those bad weeks. They're just like, okay, well, I'll just make it up next week or the week after.
Right.
That's business. You're looking at those averages. We see at Swift all the time. These guys, man, I only made $500 last week. Okay, well, what'd you do the week before? What about the week after?
Oh, I made $3,200 last week.
Oh, okay. So,
and I did 3,000 the week after my 500 week, but they're stuck on that 500 week.
Yeah. I mean, this week I only made what I told you, that $1,400. Last week I brought home $3,600. The next week's looking like another about maybe $3,000 a week. The week after that, who knows? Maybe that'll be another $1,000 a week.
Right.
But my averages are where I need them to be to meet my yearly expectations, even in this economy. And
go ahead.
And we've been through this before, Charlie and I, in 2008, the last time this happened. And what I'm really hoping And you never know. For all I know, there's going to be an EMP next week, and we're all screwed. I don't know.
Oh my God! Please let it happen. Never
No,
mind.
Charlie, we're not talking about that. We're live.
I'm
We
ready
do
for
that
the
in
EMP.
private.
I'm ready for the EMP. Listen.
But that's something that you can't control, right? Well, what
me.
I can control is how I run my business while things are still moving.
Right.
So if things follow what's happened before, I'm at the point where, again, I figured out how to run even leaner than I did before. We've got the ESA fuel card now. That's helping. We got a good fuel surcharge. That's helping. So when we start the climb up again, I'm going to keep running the way I do.
Right.
The things I've learned in the last 2 years. Or some of it, Charlie, honestly, relearned because we got lazy when things were good, right?
Right. For real.
So as it goes back up, you just keep doing the same things that caused you to weather this. And guess how much money you're going to make then?
Right. It's all about keeping that overhead in check. And Mike Henderson actually makes a good point here. He said he bought a Volvo on the outside in 2010. Outside, if you get a lemon, you're screwed. Your only choice is bankruptcy. My last lease was a lemon, and Brett helped me switch trucks. Brett, and for anyone who doesn't know, he's talking about Brett Stewart, the VP of the owner-operator division of Swift Transportation. And we've actually managed to help several people who just legitimately got a lemon truck. And yeah, Jeff had one, and Jeff cost him quite a bit of money to get that deal worked out. But and we've had other people. I mean, I helped a guy get out of a really bad truck. I mean, he was to the point where he was going to lose a lot of shit. I mean, that's just how it was, and he was like done with trucking because of it. And I literally made a phone call to it was an older VP that we had at the time. And I said, hey, this was going on with this guy's truck. Here's the history. He had not done this on his own, by the way. And which was, part of the problem, not communicating with the right people. And we actually got him into a brand new truck that week. Right. And he had that truck and ran the hell out of that truck and turned his business around. It goes back to that relationships. Having a company that's got 17,000 trucks behind it, I'm just saying that there is something to that. If you're running your own and you get one bad truck and that's your only truck, Lord help you. Because like you said, your only option at that point is, I don't know. It's that old adage. How do you make $1 million in trucking? Start with 2 million. What?
Oh, this is funny. This is funny. I don't even know if I want to tell people why this is funny.
Absolutely. You should. I saw that too, and I actually wanted to go back to that night, and I got lost. So look, crazy Uncle BOC. So look, it was funny because Jeff was like, "All right, man, you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's get ready." He's like, "You need to do something," and he's like, old school. Like, you need to do a rail, a little bump, right, dude? So that is so funny. I'm like, yeah. Oh my gosh. Good Lord. Sorry.
So Charlie, I've been seeing this on the Facebooks.
Right.
And maybe it's because I don't use Swift maintenance anymore. But do you have any what's going on with this thing?
I'm not completely sure. Hey, Blackbeard, do me a favor. You want to call real quick? Would you mind? This is probably a better conversation on the phone, so we're not waiting for
I've been
typing
seeing
back
people
and forth.
talking about this, and I don't understand.
I'm not sure if I understand what's going on. Yeah, I
mean,
know there's a lot of weird issues.
Are you not able to see how much money is in your maintenance account? And talking to Alan, if you're on an MRP lease, you can only see the one you set up.
The discretionary one.
The discretionary one. You can't see the MRP side.
Right.
I guess. So I don't know.
I don't understand it.
It's confusing to us, so it's got to be confusing to other people, right?
Right. Look, one of my people right there. Ready for that EMP? Yes, sir.
I started a thing. Dang it.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh man. Look, I thought this was a funny one. Look. 6 kids make a truck payment look puny. Wait. There's more.
Yeah.
Truck is therapy.
My mother, I've been married for 28 years.
Just a baby.
And my mother swears that the reason why my wife Donna puts up with me is because I'm never home anyway. and that's good for our marriage. I don't know. Whatever.
Wow. Right. What do they say? Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Well, I mean, basically a honeymoon every 6 weeks. I'm just saying.
But then Rosie and I are in the truck like 24/7. We come home and I don't know. It's weird. I'm actually
Yeah,
a lot happier, honest to God, since she's gotten on the truck.
yeah, but
I'm
you guys
actually a
are
happier
like
person.
you guys are like both weird.
Yeah,
both
it's
of you.
true. It's a little weird. You're right. Look, I've been with my wife since we were 15, and I'm like 107 tomorrow or next week or something like. I don't know. Yeah. Uh. Sorry, going through the chat, guys. Bear with us. Unable to view the maintenance accounts. Both or just one, Dennis? And Dennis says they're supposed to be working on it. They're talking about itemized repair bill. The portal doesn't do it. I don't know.
That's been it. So if that's the issue, Charlie, that's been an issue for years.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on there.
And Charlie and I have tried and tried and tried to get this fixed, and I don't know why it isn't. The other thing is the issue when you have maintenance done in a terminal and them not giving you the invoice right away.
Right.
We feel like that's not a good thing. But every time we bring it up, they're like, "Oh, they're not." Well, we told you 2 months ago they weren't. So that's one of those things where you'll see Charlie and I get a little frustrated with the system.
Right.
Charlie's setting to be even more frustrated since he's got that brand new truck now.
Right. So, Dennis, I can't relate to what you're saying. You're saying that both of those, but you're on an MRP lease, right? So maybe there's some sort of coding issue on the MRP side because of the dual maintenance accounts that they have. Because, like, I don't think I'm sharing anything weird here. I'll do it anyhow, whatever. So, like, I mean, I can see I have money in my maintenance account. It's right there. It tells me how much is sitting in that account. Oh, wait. Dumb graphics in a way. Oh, that's great. I win the awards today. I am on fire today with this stuff. But like, I mean, I can see there's $1,000 sitting in the maintenance account right there.
And then another $893 going in.
Yeah. Well, this is an older settlement. But this number. So one of the funny things about our settlements is this number will always be the current number. Even if you go back and look at old settlements, it will now be the current number. It's weird. They can't understand. They can't explain it to me why that happens. Anyhow, I'd like to see that being a running tally personally, but for accounting purposes, but they won't do that. But yeah, so I mean, it just is what it is. I don't know.
That's an awful lot of con data fueling there, Charlie.
Hey, you shut your mouth. You leave my fueling alone. I know. I got to put money on my damn card. God, it's coming. I apologize. Coming great book. Oh, wait. I got a book series recommendation here. Sorry.
Commune or something.
I'm about to run out of my current one too. I'm in book 13 of 15.
Who's the author, Mike? That's what I want to know. Because sometimes if you don't have the author, then there's like 2 series named the same thing. That survivalist series that Charlie and I really like, there's like 200 survivalist series out there. The one by A American people.
Right.
A American, that's the good one.
Oh, here. This is a good explanation. Basically, our personal escrow will not load when before we could see exactly how much our personal escrow would go into our savings. So, okay, I understand what you're saying now. And maybe let's try and get with Brett and see what the heck is going on deeper with that. So, because I just don't have an answer. Right. I understand what you're saying, Rowan, the maintenance escrow. Yeah, that's a problem. I agree. And yeah, I don't know what the hell to say there. So maybe we will try and let me write something down here, because if you guys know, if I don't write it down, it's gone. It's just out of my head. Of course, I would need to find a pen. Jeff, where'd my pen go? I had a pen here because I was writing notes earlier. What the hell? Some sort of leprechaun
got that $1,800 phone sitting there. Use that.
You shut your mouth, because I don't know how to use a phone. Just whatever. Talk.
So I'm an early adopter, and so I bought this fancy phone, and I convinced Charlie that he needed one too.
Right. Okay, I got a note.
Okay.
Okay, I got a note. To talk with Brett about this issue with the settlements not showing, or the escrows not showing in the settlements, and that's like a legit thing. That would, that
So
would
he's
piss me
on
off.
MRP.
Yeah, see, and I
So
think
when
that's a thing.
When he says escrow, he means the mandatory 5 cents a mile, right?
But he's saying both.
Both
Neither
of them.
one of them show up. Dennis said the
Okay.
same thing. Neither of those accounts show up.
Right.
So yeah, and I
So,
think it's got something to do with that MRP program.
So Timothy, MRP lease, you can't take your money out of your maintenance account. You can't take it out of the mandatory one. But Alan told me what it was called. What's the one that we have? There's actually a name for it. That you set if you set up the other one, that's the traditional maintenance program,
Right.
like what Charlie has on
Just
his
the
brand new
standard
truck,
maintenance
and I have
reserve.
mine. You can do the macro to take that out if you want. You just can't mess with the one that's required by the lease. And I don't use my maintenance account for maintenance. Usually, I have money for that.
Right.
But what I will do is, if I run through Oregon, like I do sometimes, when that $350 if the fuel tax comes up, that comes out of my maintenance account so that I have my normal settlement.
Right.
Or if I end up owing on federal taxes or state taxes at tax time, that comes out of my maintenance account. Charlie made me take some money out when we were in Vegas so that I could actually have a good time.
Yeah, baby, Vegas.
That's why I told the wife that Charlie made me do that. So, and we all know how dangerous Charlie is, so you don't say no to him.
Hey now, what? You better stop, man. Don't be stirring that pot. Hey, Anthony, look, I have an opinion on this, and I'm going to give it to you. And I actually expressed this to one of the recruiters this week when I was talking to him. And what I said was that the original MRP program with $11,000 buyouts, pretty good deal, I thought, because that buyout, the cost of actual ownership was more than reasonable, I believe. But then the truck market went batshit and the prices skyrocketed on the used truck market. So they bumped up those buyouts on the end of the MRP lease. When we've broken down the numbers, MRP versus a brand new truck lease, the weekly nut seems to come out about the same thing. So then it becomes a matter of who's controlling what money. And I don't like other people controlling money. I would much rather manage myself, and then people are like, well, but I got this warranty. Well, you know what? I would have the cash.
So when we
get to get it fixed where I want.
We spent some time with Alan Becker a while back, and we actually crunched the numbers. And what we determined was that to buy out a brand new truck, if you did everything right, which nobody does, okay, I understand that. Nobody ever does everything they're supposed to do. But if you were to take that mandatory escrow from the MRP and put it in a savings account, and then did everything the same, that brand new truck was going to cost about $8,000 more to buy, cash that you wouldn't otherwise have, than the MRP truck. That's what we're talking about. Because that escrow on the MRP side, you never see that again.
Right.
That goes to Swift. That's gone. That 5 cents a mile is gone.
Yeah.
And here's how we justified that under the old program with the $11,000 buyout. If you were to buy a truck from, say, Aero Truck Sales,
right,
they're going to try and sell you this cool warranty,
which aren't bad. Some of them really aren't bad.
Which aren't bad, but they cost a lot of money. About the same that an MRP escrow account is going to cost you over 3 years. So what we looked at it was, okay, so this is a really good warranty. It's an 80-20 warranty. If the engine blows up, like just engine's done, you're going to pay 20% to replace that engine.
Look, and I'm going to tell you that if I was on an MRP, kind of hoping that my motor blows. Is that
Like
wrong?
3 weeks before the end of the lease would be
Right.
great.
Right. Like seriously, for real. I'm not saying I would do shady things to make it happen, but I would be rooting for that sucker to pop.
Right, because you get a
Because
brand new engine out of it.
it was worth every penny. You know what I mean? So Dennis said that as long as you're on the your MRP maintenance count is over 3,000, you can take it. You can take money out of it, but you have to keep 3,000 in there at all times. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. You know, Mike Henderson said, and this is I'm kind of with you here, buddy. I use my maintenance account as my vacation fund.
Grandkids?
Yeah, sorry, grandkids. Good night, buddy. I love you. Sleep good. You're my favorite. Anyhow, sorry, guys.
Did he say I know?
Yes. Come on, man. He knows. He knows. He's my favorite Victor. That's why I tell him. That's why he knows. I'm like, you're my favorite Victor. Anyhow, using maintenance account as a vacation fund after my Volvo bankruptcy, I built up a $50K emergency fund. Good on you. You win. Because I haven't done that.
You're better than both of us put together, right?
Because had I done that, I would not be in a brand new Freightliner. Right? Look, that's just reality. I would have. You know what? I might be in a brand new Freightliner as a loaner while Chewy was being rebuilt for 9 months at the current problems with getting parts for it. But yeah, 50 grand would have put me in a good spot to be able to do my truck that I need to do. So, you know, I mean, and I'm going to argue with you a little bit here, Dennis. 80-20 is awesome. With a caveat. You have to do it where they want it.
Right. You can't take it to Pittsburgh Power.
Right. On their schedule at their time. You know? I don't know. What's this? 2023 has to be a better year. New trucks are worth it. Sell it at $459 like everyone else, near zero maintenance. You know, I actually intend on paying this truck off, provided nothing major happens between now and that point, right? And I have a ridiculous balloon. It's $82,000, like for real. It's no joke. So, you know, I'm starting to plan for that now. And I just started this lease in July. So, I mean, let's just be real.
And you know, we've gone over the numbers, Charlie, enough times where most of our viewers know them and why we recommend not doing that.
Right.
You know, so a new truck, let's say in 500,000 miles, 459,000 miles. What's a new truck going to cost you then? About 200. Well, I'm going to spend at 1.4 million miles. I'm going to spend about $45,000 rebuilding the engine, and I get a brand new truck. That's the bottom line. So I get more use out of my truck, more time to make money with my truck. And for me, it's all about that bottom line. You know, to me, business is a game. A lot of you guys know that about me.
Right.
I love playing the game, and I love learning how to play it better. And so always buying brand new trucks. Now, Charlie, I'll do the Charlie thing. Don't get us wrong. If you want a brand new truck, by all means, go buy a brand new truck.
Excuse me.
However, if you want to argue numbers, we're willing to do that too.
Right.
And we will show you why you will make more money keeping an older truck. You will make more money over a 10-year period keeping a truck and maintaining a truck than buying brand new trucks every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So, and you know, another danger of brand new trucks, by the way, is remember when you couldn't get one?
Okay.
That's
look,
why
it's hard to get them right now.
You know, people were paying for 2022 Kenworths. Were paying $250,000 and more.
Insanity.
Just to get one. Those are $185,000 trucks, guys, in a reasonable market. So, you know, one of the things Charlie and I did not do that we should have done was we should have reevaluated what our trucks are worth and adjusted our insurance rates up.
Hi, Trucker Gal. Sorry.
Because
Welcome.
My truck that I thought was worth about 45 last year, I could have sold it in the open market for 70.
Right.
So if I wreck my truck and I've got a loss amount of $45,000, what am I going to do then? I can't just go buy another used truck for that.
Right.
And that's something that, as we talk about the insurance, right, guys? Because that's a hot topic at Swift right now with the cameras coming out. Making sure that your loss marker is appropriate for the value of your truck.
Stipulated loss value.
Because, like for me, a single truck owner operator, own my truck outright. I still have 3 kids to feed. The wife, she could go do something else, but the kids need to be fed. What am I going to do if I set my loss value too low and I total the truck out?
Right.
I would have to go lease another truck from IL. At that point, I don't have the option to take the insurance money and go buy a truck from Aero Truck Sales for cash.
Right. And like you said, with the market the way it has been, I bought that Freightliner 1.3 million miles ago for $42,000.
Mhm.
And at the peak of that crazy market a couple months ago, I could have sold my truck for 60. It's crazy. Like, it was crazy. So you have to understand what the market value, what the market replacement value is of your asset. The truck is your asset, right? And Anthony, how do you plan for that $85K? Real simple. Look at the length of your lease.
Mhm.
How many weeks is that? I'm in a 4-year lease. What is that? I think I did the math. It's 2496 weeks. Does that sound about right? Could that be right? 52 weeks a year. That's not right. I screwed that up completely.
208 weeks.
Thank you.
Divided
Wow.
by
The hell did I do?
85,000.
82. Yeah.
Shit.
Oh.
82,000
Jeff
divided
did
by
it.
208. So you need to save $394.23 a week to drop a check for 85 grand in 4 years.
Right. And if we're doing things right, you're going to have those good weeks, bad weeks, and all that stuff.
So that's less money than I save on the ESA card every week.
There you go. There's your savings plan for your.
So you find ways, right? You find a way, a methodology, a best practice to say, okay, I need an extra $395 a week. How do I get that? Slow down. Increases your fuel mileage. Get a different card. And again, we'll beat this horse a little bit. I don't care if it's the ESA Advantage card. That's our preference. We've built a good relationship with the guys there. We like their discount program. I don't care if it's NASTIC or one of these other cards. OIDA's got a card. If you want to go to OIDA, get a card that's not Condata.
Right.
And take that money that you save on fuel by slowing down and buying fuel at closer to wholesale than retail.
Right.
And there's your savings right there in 4 years. So here's the trap, though, Charlie. Charlie knows the trap. We all know that everybody over the age of 25 at this point should know the trap. The trap is you spend the money you make.
I got that pile of cash sitting in that account. Let's go to Vegas, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say, I want that new motorcycle, or I want those new rims for my car I drive 2 days a month. That sort of stuff. Don't do that. Save that money, because at the end you'll be able to just stroke a check, pay for that balloon payment, and then it gets even more exciting, because I love, Charlie knows, I go crazy over this stuff. So here's the thing. Right now your truck payment's probably what, like $645 a week. So let's do that.
$670 on mine.
So yours is $670. Yours is $670 a week times 52.
That's a lot.
That means you can give yourself a raise of $34,840 a year without that payment.
Pow! And I ran. Well, look, my truck, my old Freightliner is still running. The only reason I parked it was because of this stupid neck surgery. Right? It was beating me up. I needed to do some upgrades, and I honestly I've had a bad year this year in that I had a bunch of medical expenses, time off, things like that. So I didn't have the reserves that I should have had in place, because I'm a terrible person. Look, I can tell you guys all day long how to do it, right?
Really is. He really is, by the way. You guys that are going to join us in Vegas this year, hang out with us on this trip, and you'll
Yeah,
see how bad he
Vegas.
really is. And
But
you know what? Rosie just eggs him on, by the way.
She does. She's the devil on my shoulder. But yeah. So but I mean, there's so many things that you can do to build that nest egg or that thing, but you need to start at the beginning, right? It makes it that much easier. The longer you can spread that out, the better you can, be an adult, which I lack the ability to be sometimes. Let's be real. And you gotta not touch it. You gotta save it, put it away, tie it up somehow so you can't get it and you're not gonna lose it, so that it's there at the end. And that's exactly what I have to do.
So this is where when I'm talking to someone that thinks they want to be an owner operator at Swift, one of the things I will talk to you about is, are you willing to put off gratification for a better life down the road?
You said gratification. I went somewhere else. Sorry.
I know you did, but you're sick. Head injury. Anyway. So for 4 years, you just keep living the way that you're living now. No increase in lifestyle,
Right.
no fancy cars or trucks.
It's hard to do.
And it is hard to do because you're going to make more money.
Don't buy a $90,000 pickup truck. I'm not calling out any names, Sean.
I was not going to go there, man. Come on.
I'm sorry. I love you, man.
So for 4 years, you're just going to focus on, I need to pay that truck off, because after you pay that truck off, you've got $34,000 a year to do whatever the hell you want with. Think about that.
Right.
4 years of, if you guys are Dave Ramsey, not Gordon Ramsay. I love Gordon and his cooking too, but Dave Ramsey, the financial guru, live like no one else today so you can live like no one else tomorrow. That's his tagline.
Right.
He's not wrong. Most of us won't do that.
It's hard to do.
I'm guilty of that.
Every day.
Charlie's got his stuff that he buys, and me, I'm a little more geeky. I do those little sci-fi soldier guys that cost a ton of money to buy.
Right.
And you have to paint them yourself, and I'm just a total geek.
I like AR-15s, 6-hour ammunition. Yeah. What? Sorry.
Yeah, I know you do. But we all have that thing that's so easy to spend money on,
right?
And yet it's just as easy, really, to walk away, so that you can get to that point to where, when you, in my case, buy a $500 box of models,
right? And then it's a windfall once you get to that point.
It doesn't hurt, I mean, you guys know I'm going to talk about my remodel for a second here, Charlie, because I'm excited about it, and Charlie's excited to see me do it.
Yes.
You could do things like, I just dropped $500 on a monitor the other day for my truck. And you know what? I told my wife about it, and she's like, that's coming out of the business, right? That was like her only concern. That's coming out of the business, right? Yes, it is.
That's not my money, is it? Oh.
No, it's not your money, hon. It's the business's money, and I'm doing this. So, and you can do stuff like that once you've reached that level. Good stuff, Charlie.
Right. So, I lost something here. There's something. Trucker gal. Hey, sorry. I think I said hi, but I don't remember if I did. I apologize. My bad. I'm a terrible person. Yeah, like Roland said, see, Jeff, you own your truck, so you get to do cool things like that. I mean, for real. Yeah. But you got to get to that point.
And it took me 3 leases to do it because I'm an idiot.
Boom, boom, boom.
Right? Back when Charlie and I were calling each other names, that was one of the things that Charlie pointed out is, well, I own my damn truck. What about you?
Jeff was talking bad about me back in the day. He didn't like me at all. He thought I was an idiot. Just saying.
That's a nicer than what I told Dana. But anyway.
Well, he still thinks I'm an idiot, actually, on some things. Let's be real. I mean, you know what? He's probably right. I mean, I honesty, right? So, but yeah. So, hey, speaking of, we've said Vegas, I don't know how many times, but for those of you who don't know that are interested, because we do have some new members in the group and things like that, we will be getting together in the first week of April in Vegas. We are going to have a couple of speakers there. We're going to rent out a conference room. We're going to provide some transportation from the strip
Right.
over to our conference room and all that sort of thing. And we're going to have one of our fabulous people doing a demonstration on how to adjust your brakes and some basic maintenance things that you guys and we all should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
That is
Taylor.
exactly what I used to call it. Shiny
For
new toy
real.
syndrome.
Anyhow,
that was
keep an
me with
ear
food
out.
truck.
We're going to get you more information on Vegas coming fairly soon. It's been tough to focus on this stuff, you guys.
I just want to reiterate too that the Vegas conference this year is something we're going to charge for. It's not going to be free because we're actually going to do business stuff.
Yeah, and we actually got to pay for a conference room.
Yeah, that's proving to be interesting.
Know this. Paying for a conference room in Vegas is stupid expensive. But we're smart. Yeah. We like Vegas, and that's why we're doing it. So I'm just saying, whatever. Yep. We might actually change it to a different venue the year after. We've already been discussing that. Maybe Texas is a good place. I'm just saying, middle of the country, get more people, easier to get freight in and out.
That's some good or Kansas City or something like that.
Right, somewhere in the middle, somewhere, but not in the winter.
Yeah, I mean, the plan is to see how we do with this one because the last year it was kind of impromptu. It was more of a bunch of guys going on vacation.
Right, it really was. And we all lost our asses on that one. It was fun. Roland, that's a great way to put it right there. 18 cents a mile will get you 85K at 2,200 miles a week in 4 years. There you go.
Right. And you remember when we had Bruce Mallison on the show, we need to get him back, by the way.
We do.
Great guy.
For real.
When we had Bruce on the show, he said that if you start with a brand new truck, right, assuming that you're paying for the truck, right? This is above what Roland is pointing out. If you put 10 cents a mile away, you will be able to handle all maintenance on that truck for the life of the truck.
Right.
As long as you don't touch it for anything other than maintenance.
Right.
And, he's talking about the Pittsburgh Power Super Duper end frame when the time comes. 10 cents a mile, guys. If you start and you don't mess with it for anything other than maintenance.
Right.
That's the key. You will never have to borrow money to maintain the truck. And that's from a guy that's been doing this since, I don't know, Noah.
Right.
So.
Oh, I want to put this up. So, look, I'm going to argue with you a little bit. Can you tell me what the rolling resistance is on those tires in comparison to, say, Michelin Energy D Plus? Because do you actually know what that's going to do to fuel mileage? Is that a tire? Are you on a deal where you need to worry about fuel mileage? I don't know. I don't know you and your operation. So, I mean, but for a lot of us, I can tell you that we do really worry about fuel mileage because of the contract rates and things like that. And that's a big thing for us. If you're on a specialty thing where you don't care about the fuel mileage, man, whatever. Cheap tires could work out for you just fine. But if the rolling resistance is bad on a cheap tire, hell, Jeff bought a good tire with a bad rolling resistance. And we did the math, and I'll call it out. It's the Michelin XDN2. He bought that instead of the Michelin XDA Energy D, and it cost him, what was it, half a mile per gallon? 0.48 miles per gallon just because of the rolling resistance change. Then you look at the life of the tire. How long is that tire going to last? And we pretty much calculated that if he had just taken those brand new tires, once he realized the mistake was made on the rolling resistance, had he just thrown them out on the side of the road and bought a brand new set of Michelins, he would have made his money back that year.
Yep.
So
and on the Energy Ds, which is what I normally put on my truck, it was a whole thing. I made a mistake. So, and I'm still paying for it because I just can't bring myself to do it. I spent the money. But anyway, so typically a set of Energy Ds will last 3 years on my truck.
Right.
That's how often I switch tires out. These are already 2 years old, and Charlie, you molested my tires yesterday.
They're not horrible.
There's a little bit of fun. There's a little bit of river wear on a couple of them, but like the tread depth, I'm not even halfway through them, man.
Right.
Basically, so I used to live in a logging town, guys, before I moved to Utah, and the tires that I bought were logging tires, and I did not do my due diligence like I should have, and made a mistake.
It was funny to watch.
Yeah.
Afterward.
So I didn't even realize until the first time I met Charlie in person in Greer, and he's looking at my truck and doing his thing, and he's like, "Hey, man, I need to tell you about those tires that you got there. You do realize that those are the ones that Kevin Rutherford say are the worst tires on the planet, right?
For an OTR operation.
For an OTR operation." I'm like, "What? No." And he had to talk to me. He had to take me aside and comfort me.
There might have been some cuddling involved. I'm not weird. Stop it, people. God, we ain't judging, but we ain't like that. Whatever. God, you dirty minded.
So yeah, the rolling resistance is a bigger deal than people
for
think.
Real.
You know, on an over the road operation like ours, they're great for those log truck owners that live next door to me. You know, they loved them, but who cares about rolling resistance when you could lose traction and find yourself at the bottom of a mountain if you don't have the right tires, right?
Right.
So,
badass Tacoma. Yeah, like Lisa said, you know, it kind of depends on the truck that you get and that sort of thing. And your weekly nut, I can tell you with a brand new truck, for having the OCAC insurance for myself and the wife, Rosie, all in with the insurance we currently have, that's going to change because we are, and somebody asked about insurance. Hold on. I'll come back to that. Remind me insurance again. There's a question I want to answer. What did I say it was, Jeff? Was it $940 a week is what my weekly
it was enough
nut
to
is?
where it was
hurts my feelings.
It was enough to where I purposefully forgot what it was.
Right. And however, on my 07 Freightliner, my weekly nut on a truck that I had paid for completely, it cost me like okay, let's go to Jeff. Jeff has a paid for truck, insurance and everything right now. Your weekly nut before you do anything. There you go.
154.
I was at 198. That's what I was at.
So, a couple of factors there. I have a paid for truck that's older. I mean, when Charlie and I were looking at what do we need for insurance because of the camera thing, his collision is freaking insane to me. But he's got a brand new truck worth $190,000.
Yeah.
I've got an old truck that's listed that my loss value on it is only 45. And the way insurance is calculated, guys, is cost per $1,000 to insure the truck. So
right. Dennis's tires miss me. What?
Oh.
Just saying. Anyhow, yeah, I like to touch people's tires and see what they're doing.
You know, I was parked at a TA the other night, and
it happened.
Charlie parked at the same TA after I'd gone to bed already, and in the middle of the night, he molested my tires.
I went and found his truck while he was sleeping and molested his tires without him knowing until I posted it on Facebook. True story. It actually happened. I'm just saying. Just gonna leave that out there. Whatever. I have a tire thing, man. I love tires. I love learning about tires. So look, if you guys ever want to talk tires and you could teach me something, I would greatly appreciate it because I love talking tires. I do. Look, they are one of our single largest expenses in this business, right? It just is. You know, fuel.
Right. When with the tire thing, by the time you buy the tires and you calculate what the rolling resistance is to your fuel mileage and compound all of that into one number, huge.
It's crazy. You know, when you're talking about the life of the tire, you know, okay, just to go back, you know, $385 a tire, with our national tire discount that we get through, you know, being contracted to a major carrier like Swift, something like that. We get, I don't know what the cost of tires are right now for a Michelin set. I can tell you what I was paying for wide singles on Chewy. You know, they retail for $1,200 a piece, and when I had to replace them with the Michelin National Tire Count, they would cost me between $600 and $750 a tire, right? And that was at the time absolutely the best wide single tire on the market for rolling resistance and fuel mileage, right? So, and they were probably, if not the most expensive, maybe top 2 expensive tire on the market. But for what they saved me in fuel mileage, they paid for themselves in less than a year over other options. So I could go out and spend, let's just throw weird numbers out. Let's say your $385 tires are cool and all. You got a great price on them, but they have a rolling resistance that, limits you to, oh, sorry. You screwed me up. They have a rolling resistance that is going to cut you by half a mile per gallon. You know what I mean? What is the cost of owning that cheaper tire? How long is that tire going to last you so that you have to now replace that tire? And when you do the math on that, a lot of times these lower cost tires, these, off-brand tires or discount tires and things like that will actually cost you far more than had you gone out, paid for the top end Michelin, Bridgestone, whatever you want to call it, whatever tire it is that you love the most with the best rolling resistance. The cost of ownership is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So, I want to go back to that $1,250 a week average payment. No, my truck payment is $670 for just the truck. Insurance, everything all in, all the insurances that I have to do on a brand new 23 truck is right around $940. I can't recall. I'm sorry. I had the number 2 weeks ago. I would have been able to answer that like that. But I'm old and I have a head injury and leave me alone. I'm sticking to that right there. I'm just going to use, that's my crutch, whatever. I'm going to die on that cross, whatever. So that is the best ballpark figure I can give you on a brand new truck. So it's not so bad. That's funny. Look at this. Lisa. That's why I stay in the north to avoid my tires getting molested. Lisa's afraid of me molesting her tires. That's weird.
I think that's a legitimate concern.
It might be a thing.
So insurance, you wanted to talk about insurance?
Insurance. Somebody asked where we're at in the process of getting insurance quotes. We actually spoke with Jeff Reese, our buddy over at our buddy over at ES Advantage. He has an insurance broker that they utilize for their private fleet as well as other things that they put out, who is trying to work up a deal specifically for our folks that, are part of our kind of network here. I'm going to say this out loud up front. We will make Jeff and I pointed the right way. Jeff and I will make $0 on this deal. We were actually very adamant about this. There's going to be no referral bonus or none of this other crazy stuff. You people that are new, you know what I'm talking about. We ain't those guys. So yeah. We are they're trying to build the best deal that they can for us. We don't know yet how that's going to fall out. And we don't know how that's going to work out. We do think we're going to have that final number here in the next couple of weeks, definitely before the end of December. We're hoping that come late December, we're going to be able to give you guys at least 3 options to, take a look at. We are doing a lot of legwork in trying to figure out what's going on. We've contacted a lot of people. We've talked to several people who've gotten quotes and things like that from other people, and we are trying to put together the best information we can based on that.
Right. Remember too, guys, we have until April.
Right.
That's
April 1st is the crazy deadline date, right?
So,
let's be real.
If you jumped on the bandwagon to get your own insurance now, okay, but keep your mind open to other ideas, and be looking yourself. One of the things I've done is I've contacted my my insurance agent that carries my homeowners and my car insurance, and she got me with the commercial insurance guy that she works with. And I'm in the process of getting a quote from them. I encourage you all to do that. Whoever you have insurance through now on your personal side, give them a call. Who knows? There might be some sort of, hey, you've been with us for 20 years, which is my case with American Family, and good client and always pays on time. Let's talk.
Right.
Will they beat OIDA? I don't know. Probably
we'll
not.
See.
But do the legwork. Do this research yourself. That's part of owning a business, guys. Ooh.
And look, if I have to pay a little bit more not to get OIDA, I'm going to tell you right now, a little bit more, I'm willing to pay. A lot more? No.
Not so
I'll
much,
go without OIDA, whatever. I'm definitely going to be getting outside insurance because It's not that I don't like cameras. I don't like someone else controlling my camera.
Right. And, in fact, as a matter of fact, I'll just bring it up, full disclosure. When we were talking to Jeff Reese today, we mentioned what the issue was at Swift, and they understand that. But I made sure that they understood that it's not the camera itself that we have a problem with. It's the Swift monitoring of the camera. So tell your guy, your broker friend, if he can find us a basket of policies that we want to look at, and one of them says you'll get 20% off if you have a camera in your truck with a black box.
Right. Not a monitored camera.
I will do that.
Absolutely.
It's not the camera I have a problem with. It's the monitoring I have the problem with.
Hey, Dicks on Sticks, check it out. I can't believe I said that name out loud because that's just funny to say. Anyhow, if I can make $1,500, $2,000 a week as a company guy, what's the advantage of a lease? I don't get it. So look, and I know you had a follow-up comment that said, at the end of your lease, your truck is junk. I disagree. I put 1.7 million miles on the truck that I have sitting in my backyard, and it's not junk. It ain't pretty, but that truck has literally grossed me a couple $1 million in cash, in revenue, gross. Yeah, we're talking gross. Net is not that number, but
about half.
But I bought that truck with 492,000 miles on it, and I now have 1.7 million miles on it. I did an in frame. I need an out of frame now at this point. Replace the transmission for 10 grand. Never had to do rear ends. They're still solid. No problems there. It's not a pretty truck. It's not a shiny truck, but I don't know. I have an asset that I bought it for $42,000. I could probably get away with on the market right now. I could probably get 30 for it right now. And I put, 1,000,003 miles on it. What am I out?
So this is a fair statement. Been driving 10 years of running the numbers never makes sense for the risk you take. That is absolutely a reason not to be an owner operator.
Absolutely.
If the risk is too high for you, we all have our own risk profiles. That's a little bit of stock Wall Street jargon, but we all have a risk profile. If you look at that risk and you're not comfortable with that, absolutely do not lease a truck.
Right.
For me, I thrive on risk.
Buy a truck. Buy an old junky looking truck. I don't care. If it runs and you can get a couple of months out of it, I promise you. If you buy an old raggedy ass truck, but the motor and the tranny and the rear end are solid, and you can run that truck for 2 or 3 months without any major problems.
Yeah, we talk mostly about Swift, but I've talked to guys that have done that. I talked to a guy years ago that bought an Argosy. Remember the Argosy?
I want one. To this day, I want one.
For $10,000, and it only ran for a year after he bought it, but he was doing power-only freight. By the end of that year, he bought a $30,000 truck.
Right.
That truck ran for about 3 years, at which point he had enough money to buy a brand new truck for cash.
Cha-ching. That's an asset.
Just running power-only load board like that type freight.
And I'm not beholden to a company. Right. And I don't look. So there's nothing wrong with being a company guy. Don't get us wrong. If market things happen, if laws get weird and things like that, who knows? Maybe I'm a company guy. I'm not saying never. I said never. I would never buy a new truck. Guess what? I'm in a brand new truck. So yeah, I learned that lesson. But I like being in control of my destiny, my day-to-day. I like that if I lose money, it's my fault.
Yep.
If I make money, it's my fault.
Yep. And the other thing I would say to you, you've been driving for 10 years. So let's say that 6 years ago, you leased a truck from IEL. 4 years later, you paid that truck off. And maybe you only made that $2,000 a week when you were doing that. But now you have that truck paid off. Well, now all of a sudden you're making $3,500 a week because not only do you not have a truck payment anymore, your insurance is lower because it's an older truck. Your maintenance is under control because you did the 10 cent a mile thing that Bruce Mallison recommends. And you've learned how to drive that truck as efficiently as it can be driven. So when you first started out, let's say you were getting 7.5 miles to the gallon, but now you're getting 9 miles to the gallon because you learned how to drive, right? How much money would you be making today if you had made that leap 6 years ago?
Welcome back.
It's all about, it's all about having a goal that's out here instead of here. We want to think here instead of here.
In this comment right here, when you buy a junky truck, everyone thinks you're a container hauler.
Hey, man, you know how much those guys make?
Some of those guys are pretty damn good. Yeah, for real. In their horrible, ugly trucks. And look, people used to give me crap all the time about Chewy, because Chewy is an ugly truck. Like, she's supposed to be maroon, but she's extremely oxidized. There's no, I know. There's no clear coat left on that truck. But all I ever saw was green from that truck because it was always pure profit. Straight up, pure profit. You know? And look, there's something, okay.
Okay, so other than the Social Security being paid 50%, I get all that too. Morton Transportation LLC pays me holiday pay, breakdown pay, and weather pay.
There you go.
And as far as the Social Security, did you know that I don't pay Social Security on all of my income because I'm an S Corp? What? So yeah, I make $100,000 a year. I only pay Social Security on half of that. So basically the same.
Right. So, and just to further progress this, nobody ever talks tax. It seems they write off everything and never show a profit. Okay. So as an S Corp, as an S Corp, right? I hope the company doesn't show a profit.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get away with not showing a profit for years, man, win, because that reduces my tax liability. But I also have 2 W-2 employees. So I'm, and that comes out of that company's profit. Dirt Dart Express Transportation is, maybe they don't show a profit, but their employees show a pretty good profit.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good way.
Yeah, I mean, so my truck nets, my net profit per mile on my truck, generally speaking, is $1.04 a mile. That's what my net profit, what goes in my bank account, shows. I pay myself 68 cents a mile on a W-2. That's my payroll. That's completely tax deductible from the business because it's payroll. The payroll taxes, the 15% for FICA, that's tax deductible for the business. Then I can do profit sharing a couple times a year, which wipes out all profit for the business. But I pay personal income tax on that.
Right.
So if you understand how a business is set up and S Corp is set up, it doesn't matter whether the business profits or not, right? What matters is that I'm earning an income. I am paying personal tax on that.
Right.
So yes, we do pay taxes.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope that made sense. Taxes are confuse the hell out of everybody, man.
Right.
That's why we try
and look, people like you said that they never show a profit. Well, good on them. That's business. That's that. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, unless you're getting into super big bucks, I'd rather not show a profit.
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing too, Charlie, that people don't realize is who's responsible for the profits on a business. This guy.
Right. Still this guy. Yeah.
So like if my business shows $30,000 profit this year because I was an idiot and didn't disperse the funds, and so I have to pay $4,500 tax on that. That I as the business owner have to make sure that gets paid. Now I can't take it out of what's in the savings account at the business. That's okay. Right. But what if something happened, like the truck broke down, and all of a sudden I'm paying that $35,000 for an imprint to Bruce Mallison,
right?
In March, and taxes are due in April. Guess what?
Oh hell yeah! Right. And who does your tax? Professional and do it yourself. I personally don't know anybody that can do their own taxes on a personal level in an S Corp situation. Do. Well, I don't know anybody personally.
Yeah, you do.
Who?
Me. I just don't.
Well, yeah. Okay. I don't know anybody who's willing to do their own because it's a lot of damn work. It
is.
I don't know if you've ever seen a S Corp tax return, but it's ridiculous.
So my tax returns are about 80 pages long when they're done. So yeah, I pay someone to do that.
Finished product. Right. Now imagine all the worksheets and everything else, and oh my God, no.
So
I pay somebody.
Little preliminary announcement, guys. So those of you that have been around a while, Charlie and I both do use ATBS for our tax and accounting. We are honestly, and I'm just going to come out and say it, Charlie, because we've been on their side for so long, and we didn't listen to some of you guys that said they were terrible. They've been doing my taxes for 15 years, man. I didn't have a problem with them until recently.
Right.
But it's to the point now to where we're looking for alternatives to get away from them completely. So if you guys want to, especially you guys in the private Facebook group that have been trying to tell us for so long and we didn't listen to you, apologize. You were right. We were wrong. If you want to get in there and tell us what you did, what you do, how you keep track of everything, we'd be really interested. I'm looking at making the move over to Kevin Rutherford's profit gauges. He's got a pretty good one that's $25 a month, all inclusive accounting, but you still have to find an accountant to do the taxes at the end of the year.
Right, to actually prepare the tax returns themselves.
$25 a month is better than $40 a week that Charlie and I are paying right now at ATBS.
Stupid.
We think, to get an actual profit and loss statement that I can take to a bank instead of having to get them to redo them because they didn't. Anyway, there's a lot of reasons why I'm trying to get away from them.
Right.
I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to get all negative Nancy on them.
Negative Nancy.
It did me really good when I was a sole proprietor, but as an S Corp, it's been a hassle, man. It's been a hassle. So I'm looking to make the change. Health insurance.
Yep. Get that, and I'm coming back to this one.
So if you're a contractor, if you have your own authority, since we're talking to a wider audience now, apparently, whatever your situation is, I highly recommend that the first thing you do is apply for Obamacare, otherwise known as the ACA. They like us to call it, even though it was probably Obama's, depending on your opinion, okay, Obama's greatest achievement. So he puts his name on there. So apply for Obamacare first. And the reason is that other comment that was made. We deduct so much stuff off of our taxes that the federal government literally thinks that we should be living under a bridge.
And we're poor.
So go apply for that first. They will either say you qualify or you don't. If you don't qualify for Obamacare, they will push you over to the state exchange for whichever state you live in. And you fill out
Some
that
are better than others.
Right. Utah's got a pretty good one where I live. Texas, not so much. I mean, it's different per state. Oregon was terrible. But anyway, so then you go apply for the exchange stuff, and they will give you a list of different plans that you qualify for and what they will cost you after the ACA tax credit. So the ACA will still pay for most of your premiums on these plans. If you don't qualify for that, that means you're doing a hell of a lot better financially than I am. Okay. Right. Like a lot. You're making good money and you should be teaching me. Okay. At that point, you go look for your own insurance. And I recently did that because everything's up in the air as far as my taxes go. Because a lot of you guys know that I ran sole proprietor for most of my time because I didn't see a reason to go S Corp now that I got paid for a truck. Anyway, there's a lot of reasons why I converted to S Corp. Now that I'm an S Corp, my taxes are unknown. Okay. I don't know how it's going to look next year because I've never done this before. So I did start looking into my own insurance, which, by the way, be prepared, guys. If you fill out that form, go just Google search health insurance for self-employed people. Just be prepared. You're going to get about 20 phone calls a day for about a week.
Right.
After you fill that form out with different offers.
Have fun with that.
So I got hooked up with a broker in Utah. Then I got insurance rates for my whole family. And again, I've got myself, my wife, and my 3 children still living at home. So they all need to be insured. The best one I got was $515 a month. And it was a pretty good, not quite as good as I had before Obamacare, but still pretty good. And that's one of the beefs I have with Obamacare is I had better insurance before than I can even buy now. But anyway, so that was the best quote I got for that level. I'm really hoping that I still qualify for some of this other stuff because, I mean, again, your opinion about the ACA is your opinion. I have mine, but it's there. It's real.
Right.
It's what we have. So use the system to the best that you can. Some of you are veterans like Charlie. You've got VA, so don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'm covered for life because I'm damaged. So I look, I've never had to pay for insurance in my adult life. So I can't even talk to this subject. I'm sorry.
Oh, Mike Henderson, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a tough one. Texas is not the best place for health insurance. It just isn't. Most of my mom and my dad and my 2 sisters live there, and it's kind of. And my sister's got a big family like me. She's got 5 kids, and it's kind of a mess, kind of.
Right.
So, also think about other things that most people don't think about. Like for myself, I'm an actual member of the Cherokee tribe. I actually even have the card saying that I am and all that stuff.
Card carrying member.
Card carrying member of the Cherokee tribe. Wolf Clan, by the way, if any of you all are out there. So,
sorry.
There's special benefits for Native Americans, right? And there are a lot of there's a lot of demographic groups that do have some things written into the law that help them out. Check it out. Again, opinions on politics aside, it is what it is. It's there. It's in place. Use it.
Look at these various associations, OIDA,
right?
ES Advantage, the other one I can't remember the. Dang it, what's that?
AA something.
Yeah,
AARP if you're over 55.
There you go. AAOO, that's it. AAOO. They have access to something.
I know what I was going to say. So $515 a month was the best quote I got. To give you an idea on that, Swift will get you hooked up with insurance, the same insurance the company guys have, but that's like $200 a week.
It's expensive.
It's expensive, and the benefits are crap.
I would be sad to have that coverage. I'm not going to lie. So it is available. I mean, there are options. On this Michelin thing right here, CW said that he's getting 450 to 500K on the Michelins, but they discontinued the X-Line Energy I used to get.
But they have a new one.
Yes, it's the X-Line Energy D Plus. So here is the thing. So the X-Line Energy D used to be the best rolling resistance tire on the market for a standard type OTR operation. Closed shoulder, all that. Then Bridgestone came out with the I think it was the M713, which beat their rolling resistance, which and had a lifespan that was fairly comparable. And that's what's actually on my truck right now. That's what came with the truck when I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to replace them because they are a good rolling resistance tire. However, the X-Line Energy D Plus has beat the rolling resistance value on that M713. And they're stating that the life of the tire, they're expecting a longer life out of the tire with the lower rolling resistance, which is actually hard to do. So they did some weird compounding stuff to make that tire. So hopefully they'll have that tire when I'm ready to get tires in 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
That is the tire, but I will absolutely look at rolling resistance.
I'm actually really interested to see how long a set of tires last.
They're hard to find. Right.
Not in Utah, they're not.
They're hard to find in some of the markets. They really are. The D pluses are tough right now for some reason. Well, there was that shortage for a while, and the prices were kind of batshit. So because of the fuel and the petroleum stuff and all that. Shut your mouth, Dennis. AARP for me. And I'm not there yet, but I'm getting close.
Almost. So real quick before we wrap things up, two things
Excuse me.
from Cancel Coach again. How much for upfront to get a brand new truck? If you go with a lease purchase option, nothing.
It's crazy.
If you go to a bank, you're going to have to negotiate that.
Right.
And he actually followed that up with his bank wanted 18% interest on your truck credit. So that's always been a thing. So for some reason, I don't know.
I've seen some people say that they actually went for traditional financing and they wanted 50% of the loan amount up front.
Right.
So if you're buying $150,000 or $170,000 truck, you had to come up with half of that cash.
Still have 18% interest.
Right.
Right. So that's Charley and I have been in the business for about 15 years each. And this has been a conversation that's come up on the different trucking shows on the XM from time to time. And this has been the case forever. Right. That truck drivers the risk profile, I guess, that they think that we have is bad. So we get raked over the coals on those interest rates, man. I don't know if that will ever change. But it's been that way for at least 15 years that I know of, because I've listened to people complain about that the whole time I've been driving.
CW, I'm telling you, that is not a bad tire. That is that actually is a good tire, man. Seriously, like I can't talk bad about them. And I am an absolute Michelin nut. Yet I'm running the M713.
Yeah, the only reason why he doesn't have those stupid Michelin Man lights on his truck is because it would mess up the aerodynamics and affect the fuel mileage. Otherwise, he would absolutely have those.
If it impacts my fuel mileage, 0.1 mile per gallon, I'm not doing it. Whatever, man. I'm trying to make every penny and keep every. If I can figure out a way to increase my or reduce my overhead by 1/4 cent a mile, I'm doing it, yo.
You know what I used to tell Charley? If wearing high heel pumps and a 2.2 made my truck get 1.1 better on the fuel mileage, I'd do it.
I'd finally have a reason to get away with it without people looking at me too funny.
And that comment comes from an episode of Cops years ago when they pulled a guy over that wouldn't come out of his pickup. And when he came out, he was wearing a pink 2.2 and black high heel pumps.
Amazing.
I don't want to get out.
It was crazy, man. But hey, you know what? We've been at this a little over 2 hours, guys. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. I know it's been a long show. If we didn't touch on something that you want us to touch on, by all means, reach out to us on the socials and the Facebooks and the YouTubes and all that stuff. Leave comments. Hey, don't forget to hit that thumb, y'all. You guys, you new people really flooded us last week, and I appreciate it. Like, seriously, all the new subscribers. Look, I hope you guys come back, and it's not just, you were here to mess with us and all that, whatever. I think we showed you guys we're not just here to be assholes. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, those of you that may have joined us from that whole thing and you're not Swift contractors or whatever, but you had more questions for us about different stuff. Charley and I both use our real names on Facebook.
Yep, Charley Mahon, and Jeffrey Morton. You can find our names in the description.
We do keep the Swift section of our Facebook private, because we do talk about some proprietary Swift stuff in there that we can't talk about otherwise.
We don't let.
But hit us up on. Yeah, we don't let company people. No management, nobody. Just Swift contractors there. But if you got some questions for us, feel free to PM us. We're right there in the Facebooks, using our real names. So we're not shy. It might take us a minute to get. It might take us a minute to get back to you, because we do actually drive truck for a living. That's how we're making our money right now.
Hell, if you want to talk on the phone, most weeks we have phone lines open on the show, like you guys have seen. You're welcome to call in and ask us questions. Seriously, we like the engagement. We like to talk about this stuff. And if you have a problem with something we say and you think we're wrong, call us out. Let's talk. Don't be a jackass about it. Jeff just choked on a fur ball right there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But look, we're all adults. We can have a conversation. We don't have to agree on everything. I'm just saying. Let's talk. Maybe we can learn something. Maybe you can learn something. I'm open to learning from anybody that can teach me something. I don't care if you're 3 years old or you're 100 years old, whether you're a driver or not. If you can teach me something in business, man, I'm down to learn. You know what I mean? And there are people out here who aren't actually drivers that watch the channel and chime in from time to time. That's cool. So yeah, I mean, but seriously, we've been at this a little too long this week. You guys be safe, be careful, take care of yourself. You got anything you want to say, Jeff, before we go?
Nope, I'm good.
My face looked funny right there.
Yeah, that's not different.
I'm looking at you shut your mouth. You guys be safe, look after each other, take care of each other. No one's looking after us but us. To all the new viewers who maybe this is your first week, thank you for being here and giving us some of your time out of your week. We do appreciate it. We'll be back live again, 6 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday. Every Tuesday, 6 p.m. is what we try to do. Thanks for tuning in. It's Contractors Corner. You guys be safe.